their blood, sweat, and tears for our rights and for our freedom. This great city was the home of, wow, think of this, Benjamin Franklin, Betsy Ross, the American flag, and the Liberty Bell. Not too many cities can compete with that one. It's where Thomas Jefferson wrote the words, "All men are created equal," where our founding fathers declared American independence, where our Constitution was written to secure American freedom. I'll tell you, there is no place like this in terms of that. There is no place like this. And Philadelphia was the city that gave America generations of tough, strong Pennsylvania workers, families, soldiers, and patriots. And they all helped build this into the greatest nation in the history of the world. But now we are in serious decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, willpower, and strength. We are a nation that has lost, quite simply, its way. But we are not going to allow this horror to continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. With the right leadership, every disaster Sleepy Joe Biden has created can be fixed, and can be fixed very quickly. Every problem can be solved, and every wrong can be rectified. By this time next year, America's borders will be strong, sealed, and secure. They will be strong, sealed, and people will come into our country, but they will come in legally. Inflation will be in full retreat. Our economy will be roaring back. Optimism will be surging. The American dream, you don't hear about that, will be thriving again for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. Law and justice will reign all throughout our land. Freedom will be restored. The flame of liberty will be burning bright. Crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country, will be a fading memory of the past. And our great silent majority, including the once forgotten men and women of our country, will be the ones shaping America's magnificent future when I am the 47th President of the United States. Because we are all Americans, and together we will show November 5th to be the most important day in the history of our nation. And always remember, we are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America free again. And we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, and hello, Philadelphia. I went to school in Philadelphia, I must say. I like it. And we won it twice, in actuality. And we won it all the times in the primaries. We had great success here. We're going to have the biggest year we ever had. This is going to be a big one. And hello also to this great place. I love this place. You know, I've gone to a couple of games. You used to have good teams. You still have good teams here? I don't know. A little bit. Had a great coach, actually. Hello, Pennsylvania. It's good to be with you. Good to be with you. I'm thrilled to be back in the birthplace of American freedom with thousands and thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots, which is what you are. With your help, 5 months from now, we're going to win this Commonwealth. We're going to evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House. And we are going to make America great again. Less than 4 years ago, our border was secure. Inflation was nowhere to be seen. The world was at peace. They respected your country. And America was strong like never before. All because you finally had a president who put America first. I put America first. Now, under crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country, the world is in flames. Our border is overrun. Inflation is raging. Crime is out of control. Europe is in chaos. The Middle East is exploding. Iran is emboldened. China is on the march. And this horrible, horrible president is dragging us toward World War III. We're going to be in World War III soon. I see every move he's making. Remember, Trump was right about everything. You see the cap? Trump was right. We're racing a clock. We're racing a clock. We'll be in World War III with this guy. That's why this November, the people of Pennsylvania are going to tell crooked Joe Biden, you're fired. Get out. Get out. You're fired. Few communities have suffered more under the Biden regime than Philadelphia. Under crooked Joe, the city of brotherly love is being ravaged by bloodshed and crime. 2 weeks ago, 9 people were shot in a single weekend, including 3 teenagers so seriously hurt. Murders in Philadelphia reached their highest level in 6 decades. Retail theft in Philly, I spend so much time here, is up 135% since I left office. The convenience stores are closing down left and right. The pharmacies have to lock up. The soap, you want to buy a little bar of soap? You got to go through a big deal. Open up the glass, open up the steel. You can't keep a bar of soap. People walk in, they just take it. You can't buy toothpaste. You can't buy a toothbrush. You want a toothbrush, it takes you 45 minutes. Meanwhile, the schools are ranked 4th from the bottom in the entire nation, and crooked Joe has no plan to improve them, none whatsoever. By the way, we're moving the Department of Education back to the states, and we're going to do it quickly. And you know, some of our states are going to do a fantastic job with running education. If you think about it, we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world, and we're at the bottom of every list. So, as I used to say about a group that likes me very much, what the hell do you have to lose, right? We might as well do it. And we'll be able to cut education in half and get much better education. In some of the states, I could name them right now, will have the best education anywhere in the world. Some won't do as well. There are a couple of states like, I would say Gavin Newsom will not do well. Under the Trump administration, we're going to bring law and order and safety back to our streets. We're going to bring success back to our schools. We're going to bring prosperity back to our forgotten communities. And we are going to liberate our once great cities and make Philadelphia better and more beautiful than ever before. But saving this once incredible place begins with stopping the killing and the crime that's setting records every single week. Unbelievably, crooked Joe Biden is going around trying to claim that crime is down. He says crime is down. Crime is so much up. First of all, we have a new form of crime. It's called the Biden migrant crime, right? Biden migrant. And all these millions of people that have come in here, they're just getting warmed up because, you know, they wanted to feel it out. They didn't know what the words politically correct mean because in their country, if they did what they do over here, they'd be shot and killed instantly. They can't believe what's happening over here. So it's only going to get worse. It's going to get worse and worse right up to the election. And after the election and January 20th, it's going to get real good. It's going to get real good. It's going to go fast. We're going to give immunity to our police. So if they arrest somebody or if they speak a little bit harshly, they won't be discarded. They won't be destroyed. They won't be thrown in jail because they raised their voice to a criminal. They won't lose their family. They won't lose their home. They won't lose their pension. But the FBI crime statistics Biden is pushing are fake. They're fake, just like everything else in this administration. Now he's even saying that all his mishaps were fake. They say the fake news covered him in a fake manner. That's a lot of fake news. That's a lot of fake news back there. All we want them to do is be honest. Because they're all going out of business. Nobody believes them anymore. And it didn't help when they went along with the Biden scam. What is he called? What is he called? You know what he calls it? So they get him in about 9 different positions. I mean, even normal positions, although I assume he's been in some very bad ones. But they get him in all these horrible, compromising posts. And then they say, it really wasn't that way. It was total. Then everybody sends in, they all have cameras. See, every one of you has a camera. If I blow it up here, though, they take a perfect, brilliant, beautiful statement that I make. I go for 2 hours without teleprompters. And if I say one word slightly out, they say, he's cognitively impaired. Whereas Biden can run into walls. He can fall off the stage. He can fall up the stairs. He falls up. He can turn around. Listen to this. From 20,000 feet, a paratrooper is landing right in front of him. Everybody, all the foreign leaders, they're watching. And he turns around to look at a tree. Right? No. And then they say it was fake. He was fine. And then the press goes along with it. They go along with it. They say, isn't it terrible the way they cover him? No, he's terrible. The worst president in history by far. And we have to get him out, or this country is not going to survive another year. According to the Much Better National Crime Victimization Survey, there has actually been a 43% increase in violent crime since I left office, including 58% increase in rapes, an 89% increase in aggravated assaults, and a 56% increase in robberies. Other than that, I think we're doing quite well, don't you? But with your vote, Joe Biden's wave of bedlam and death and terror will begin to recede the moment I take the oath of office, January 20th. First, I will stand with the heroes of law enforcement. We will give our police officers the respect and protection, resources, and support that they need to drive down your crime to zero. Second, we will surge federal law enforcement resources to the places that need them most. There are certain places, like places that I know very well here, that are just absolutely out of control. I mean, if you walk down certain streets here, you have a 50-50 chance of not ever seeing your home again. That's not too good. Instead of throwing Christians in jail, as Biden has done, we are going to crack down on the gangs, the drug dealers, human traffickers, and criminal cartels. Third, we're going to stand up to the out-of-control, Soros-backed DAs like Philadelphia's despicable Marxist prosecutor, Larry Krasner. How did he get in? Krasner has the blood of countless men, women, children on his hands, including thousands of African-American citizens, because he refuses to prosecute people. They don't refuse to prosecute me. I got more prosecutions than any human being. I've got more than the great Alphonse Capone. You ever hear of Scarface? Oh, my parents are looking down. How did this happen to my son? You know how it happened? I won an election that I wasn't supposed to win. I then did better the second time by a lot. We did much better, you know, for those of you in the fake news, we did much better the second time than we did the first, like not even a contest. In fact, we got the most votes for a sitting president in the history of our country. And then we were told, oh, but you just missed it. You just lost. No, we can't let this happen. And I'll tell you what, I have never seen, and we had a great 2016, we had an even better 2020. There has never been enthusiasm like I'm seeing right now. There's never been. Never been. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Isn't that great? You know, they've got the best seat in the House. Because if there's a star in the crowd, you know, the cameras on them, like the whole thing. They maybe only can see the back of my head. But you know what? The cameras on them, you think you have the best seats. If there's a star in the group, they will be found by the fake news. But my administration will aggressively defend the right of every American to live in safety and in peace. We're going to have a safe country again. We're going to have a safe country again. For that same reason, we will end Biden migrant crime. New category, it's a vicious crime. I told Dana White of UFC, I said, here's what we're going to do. You know, these are tough cookies coming into our country, coming with prisons and mental institutions. I said to Dana White, UFC, he's got a big fight going on right now. He's a good friend of mine. You know what he said the other day? They said, who's the toughest person you've ever met? He said, definitely Donald Trump. He said, Donald Trump. How about that? But I said, Dana, I have an idea for you to make a lot of money. You're going to go and start a new migrant fight league. Migrants, only migrants. And then at the end of the year, the champion migrant is going to fight your champion. And I hate to tell you, Dana, I think the migrant might win. That's how tough they are. This is not a normal situation. This is not, oh, isn't it wonderful, these wonderful people. These people are drug dealers, gang members, killers in so many different ways. No. And we probably have 18 million. We'll have 20 million by the time we get this guy out of there. But we got to get him out fast. We got even bigger problems. We got to get him out fast. The biggest problem is what he's saying to Russia, China, to Kim Jong-un, North Korea. What he's saying to these countries, they're laughing at us. They can't believe this has happened to America. On day one, I will seal the border, stop the invasion, and send Joe Biden's illegal aliens the hell back home. Day after day, week after week, Joe Biden is releasing illegal criminals into our communities to rape, pillage, plunder, and to kill. And by the way, here's the only thing. He doesn't even have a clue, in my opinion. These are young, smart people that happen to be fascists and communists that surround. They surround him in the Oval Office, the beautiful Resolute desk. It's been soiled. That gorgeous Resolute desk. What they're doing to our country, they're destroying our country. Just this week, a 12-year-old girl in Houston, Jocelyn Nungari, was tied up, stripped, and strangled to death after walking to a 7-Eleven, her body dumped near the side of the road in a shallow creek. Charged with Jocelyn's heinous murder are two illegal alien savages that Joe Biden recently set loose into our country. They came across our border, claiming they feared for their lives in Venezuela. They feared for their lives in Venezuela. You know, in Venezuela, crime is down 72% because they've taken their criminals, their drug dealers, and most of the people in their jails, and they've brought them to the United States of America. So they were afraid for their lives, and think of it, they couldn't stand it. They were so afraid. I'm so afraid, Venezuela. But they waited only weeks before murdering this precious, young, beautiful girl. One of them was here for 21 days before the murder took place. Last week in New York, another illegal alien who Joe Biden set loose into our country approached two 13-year-old children with a machete in broad daylight, and like a scene from a horror movie, he forced them into the woods, tied them together by their wrists, and raped the young girl at a park in Queens, a park that I grew up right next to, while filming it on camera. He put it on camera. He thought it was great. You know, I used to go to that park. I'd ride my bicycle like a kid. I was a kid, too. Can you believe it? I'd ride my bicycle to the park. My mother loved me, but she'd say, oh, good, now be home at a certain time, you know. I'd ride there. This went on for years. There was never any thought of anything happening. Now, if you go to a park near your home, you have a very good chance of never seeing your child again. This is not living in a country that we grew up in, and we're not going to stand for it. We're not going to stand for it. We're going to take our country back. We're going to take our country back. In Iowa this week, another illegal immigrant released by Joe Biden pled guilty to sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl. And last week, yet another Biden migrant was arrested for the rape and murder of Rachel Morin. I just spoke to her mother, Patricia, Patty, as they say, but Patricia. Rachel was a 37-year-old Maryland mother of 5 whom he attacked while she was out for a run. She wanted to stay in good shape, and she ends up getting killed. Police believe that the animal responsible for Rachel's killing first murdered another young woman in El Salvador. Then he fled across Joe Biden's wide-open border. Wide open! Come on in. Into the United States. You know, we had the safest border in the history of our country. Now we have the unsafest border in the history of the world. After which he savagely attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother in a home in Los Angeles before killing Rachel. And a lot of Rachel's family is here. I have to say that they're incredible people. And we're deeply grateful for the brother and sister of Rachel, Michael Morin, Erin Morin Lehman. Would you stand up, please? Please, wherever you may be. They've gone through hell. I've watched them on television. I've watched you on television, and it is a tough deal. People say time. I don't know about time. I don't know if that's the answer. Thank you very much. Michael and Erin, we grieve Rachel's loss. We pray that God will ease your pain, and we resolve to secure our border so this will never happen again. But you know it's going to happen again because we have an incompetent man. He's an incompetent, and he's happens to be the president. You know, all he has to do is say, close the border. He doesn't need Congress. I need Congress. I didn't have Congress. I closed the border. We had the safest border. All he has to do is say, close the border. And it's closed. That's all you have to say. He doesn't need anything from Congress. It's just unlikely that a thing like that would have happened. Thank you for being with us. Yeah. That's when it first, we built hundreds of miles of wall. We got Mexico to give us thousands and thousands of soldiers, and we had a great border even while we were building it. And then we were going to add 200 miles of wall, and we had a rigged election take place. And what happened is when I left, all hell broke loose. And they didn't want to finish the wall. They didn't want to put up the additional wall we built. And it was all built to the highest specs of Border Patrol and ICE. And they're incredible people, by the way, Border Patrol and ICE. And instead of putting it up, which would have taken 3 weeks, they decided to sell it for 5 cents on the dollar. And the rest is history. When I return to the White House, we will stop the plunder, rape, slaughter, and destruction of our American suburbs, cities, and towns. That's what's happening. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Worse and worse and worse by the day. We will shut down deadly sanctuary cities. I will shift massive portions of federal law enforcement to immigration enforcement. And on day one, we will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. We have no choice. We have no choice. You know who had the largest? General Dwight D. Eisenhower when he was president. Good general, good president. Very much responsible for the interstate highway system. But he was tremendous on not wanting people to illegally flow into our country. He had the strongest deportation program. Ours will unfortunately have to be much stronger than his because he didn't have 20 million people walk in. And these are people out of the jails and out of the mental institutions. He didn't have that. He had people walk in, but they weren't the people that we're getting. And you know what? I know every one of the presidents over there, presidents. I call them presidents, dictators, kings, queens. I know every one of them. They come from all over the world, by the way. I would do the same thing as them. They're emptying their jails, and they're emptying their mental institutions. I would have done it faster than them because actually they have some people left. I would have had. They're dumping them in. We're like a dumping ground for the rest of the world. And it's going to stop on January 20th at a level that you haven't seen before. It's going to stop. I don't know if they have it. We have a card. We have a card that shows, a graph that shows, I don't even know if my guys are going to be able to find it because I didn't think I'd put it up. There it is. That's called efficiency. I didn't think they'd get that. Thank you, fellas. You're getting better. They're getting better after doing this for a few years, right? So if you look at that arrow on the bottom, the red arrow on the bottom, that is the week that I left office. That was the lowest level of illegal immigration in the history of our country, recorded history. Okay? And then Crooked Joe Biden came to office. Crooked as a $3 bill. I used to say $2 bill, but they make $2 bills, right? He's crooked as a $3 bill. He came to office right there, and there was an explosion of illegal immigration. By the way, drugs and human trafficking, too. And human trafficking is mostly in women, I hate to say. You think of it as an ancient thing, but you know what made it almost as big as the drug dealing stuff? You know what it was? The internet. It's made it massive. Human trafficking in women. And there's more of it going on right now than any time in the history of the world. And it's taken place during this horrible, pathetic president's time in office. So there it is, and that's done by the Border Patrol. That's not even done by Trump. That looks like it's done by Trump, right? That's done by the Border Patrol. That was the lowest point, that arrow. I'm very proud of that. And that supersedes a couple of things. You know what? That was in the ratings book. Because last night, and they will never tell you this because they're fake news, but last night, Rasmussen, which is, in my opinion, the most respected poll out there. Now, of course, if we get a bad one, I'll take that back. If I had a bad poll, if they come out with a bad poll in a month from now, I'll say Rasmussen is terrible. But Rasmussen, no, it is a highly respected pollster. And they came out with a poll last night that Trump is 10 points up. Okay. The fake news will not report it. The fake news will not. But they do report that we're leading in every single swing state. We're leading in Pennsylvania by a lot. No, we're doing good. Good-looking man. Good. Thank you. I like the hat. Thank you very much. No, we're doing good. You know, we have some people here. Where are those people? Look at those. See those beautiful women up there? I don't know what the hell their husbands are. Look at that. They come from a place called, nobody's ever heard of this, North Carolina, right? Which we won both times and won by a lot. And in fact, we did so good, we took Michael Whatley, the head of the Republican Party in North Carolina, we put him in charge. This is their 118th rally. And I don't know what the hell is happening with their husband. I've never figured it. They're all married. They're all happily, I think, married. Are you happily married? Look at this. They come way over 100 times. And we also have front row Joes here. Where the hell is? Look at them, front row. And they come in, and they've been here 201 times. I can't believe I did that many. How about me? Did I do that many? I did that many. So, thank you, front row. And thank you very much. It's nice, and you look great. You look great. Are we going to win? We don't have a choice. So we got this poll last night from Rasmussen, and it was they also did it like with Kennedy and with the other ones in there. Cornel West. He's one of my favorite candidates, Cornel West. And I like her also, Jill Stein. I like her very much. You know why? She takes 100% from them. He takes 100%. Kennedy's probably 50-50, but he's a fake. He's a fake. He's a total fake. You don't want to. He's more liberal than Joe Biden and all of these communists that work for him. Kennedy's more liberal than all of them. He wants to be in the debate, but he's got bad numbers. You can't do that, right? I'd like to have him in the debate, actually. I'd love to have him in the debate, but he's got bad numbers, very bad. No, I don't think he's going to ever make it. But Joe Biden's open border has also been a disaster for our great African-American and Hispanic-American population. So what's happening when millions of people flow over? The people that are most hurt are, number one, the African-Americans in this country. Number two, the Hispanic. Have they taken your job yet, sirs? They better not. I don't think they're going to get your job. I'll fight for you. They're not getting your job. Nobody's getting his job. But I will tell you, they're taking African-American jobs and Hispanic-American jobs. You know who else they're really affecting? The unions. And I have to tell you, we have a lot of Teamsters here. Do we have a lot of Teamsters? We have Teamsters, and I think we're doing 89% or something with the Teamsters. And they have a great leader. I hope Sean is listening right now. But we have a shot at even getting it from the top. I think we have a shot. But we have great Teamsters. They worked for me a lot in New York because they did the concrete trucks and other things, and they were incredible. But the unions are being incredibly impacted by all of these millions of people pouring into our country. But the African-American population is being destroyed by Joe Biden. Remember his statement, super predator, remember? Just don't forget the super predator statement. This guy's the biggest phony on earth. Virtually all of the net jobs created under Biden have gone to migrants. Almost 100% of the jobs created by Crooked Joe. What's better, Crooked Joe or Sleepy Joe? Ready? Wait, free poll. Free poll. This is a free. You do a poll, they say that'll cost $1 million. They go out and they interview about 200 people. That'll be $1 million, right? Ready? We'll go Crooked Joe first, Sleepy Joe second. Crooked Joe first, ready? Okay. Who likes Crooked Joe the best? Who likes Sleepy Joe the best? Crooked Joe? Sleepy Joe? Whoa! You know, that's the first time that Sleepy Joe has ever beaten Crooked Joe. It's the first. So tonight, we'll refer to him as Sleepy Joe. Because right now, as you know, it's been reported that right now Crooked Joe's gone to a log cabin to study, prepare. No, he didn't. He's sleeping now. Because they want to get him good and strong. So a little before debate time, he gets a shot in the ass, and that's... They want to strengthen him up. So he comes out. He'll come out... Okay. I say he'll come out all jacked up, right? All jacked up. Now, will anybody be watching the debate on Thursday night? I'm shocked. No, I'm shocked. But they've taken so much fun out of it. There's no audience. They actually wanted us to sit down. I said, look, I really want to do this thing. You know, they gave me, what happened is they gave me something that couldn't be accepted. They gave me an offer I couldn't accept, and I said, I'll do it. Number one, it was CNN fake news, right? Who hates Trump. Then it was Fake Tapper, who really hates Trump. And Dana Bash. Then it was, you know, it's Dana, it's not Dana, it's Dana. You know that, right? Right? It's Dana, right? Isn't it? It's either. Here's it. Then they said, think of this, but no audience. It's like death. There's two of us and two of them. It's like death. This could be the most boring, or it could be quite exciting. Who knows? You know, I already caught them. They had a presidential commission. You remember the time where they were turning off my mic and they weren't allowed to? And they had to apologize. You know, they apologized for it. Of course, that doesn't do any good. The debate's over, but we won the debate. We won just about all of those suckers. You know, we won them. How should I handle him? Should I be tough and nasty? Or should I be, she'd say, no, should I be tough and nasty and just say you're the worst president in history? Or should I be nice and calm and let him speak? 50-50. Be tough. Be tough. So bad. So bad. But anyway, it'll be a good, I'm sure he'll be prepared. Whatever happened to all that cocaine that was missing a month ago from the White House? Whatever happened? Under the Trump administration, American workers will always come first. We will buy American, build American, and we will hire American. Biden wants. We're bringing it back. You know, the auto industry, United Auto, the auto workers are largely on my side. They have the worst union head in the country. This guy wants to make all electric cars, EVs, right? All the. They don't go far. They cost too much. They're all made in China. Other than that, I think they're actually quite wonderful. But he's getting decimated by his union. He actually supported Sleepy Joe. He supported him. Sleepy Joe. See, just for this, because I'm going back to Crooked, I think it's more accurate. I like Crooked more. I think it's... In fact, I took it away from Crooked Hillary, so I don't want to give it back to her, because now I call her Beautiful Hillary. She's a beautiful woman. I said, that's the greatest day of her life when I took the branding off her. I no longer call her, so I can't give it back. But I'm going to go Sleepy Joe just for the rest of this particular this is a wild time in Philadelphia. Now, the fake news will say Trump is rambling. No, it's genius what I'm doing up here, but nobody understands. It's genius. And you know what? They know that too, but they don't admit it. You know, when I showed him not being able to get off the stage, right? And I imitate him sometimes. You know, he always goes, And then after he does that, he can't find, he can never find the stairs. We got about 7 stairs on every stage. Here we have, look, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this was built privately, so we have only 4. The ones built by the government, you have 7 or 8. So I made the mistake of imitating him. There was a wall behind me, and I just kept walking into the wall, because that's what happens. And I called up my wife. You heard this story. I called up my wife, and I said, baby, who could do this but me? I had 35,000 people. You know, I had 107,000 people in New Jersey. Wildwood, we love Wildwood. 107. We had 25,000 people. And that was a rainbow coalition. That was unbelievable. And there wasn't one bad word out of it. There wasn't a fight. It was like a love fest. It was the most beautiful day. Everybody came together. You know why? The people of our country are looking for hope. Whether they're white, brown, black, or anything else, they're looking for hope. They're tired of being called stupid people all over the world. 4 years ago, we were so respected, and now we're being laughed at. I took hundreds of billions of dollars away from China. One of these fakers up there said, he didn't take any money from China. Tariffs. I tariffed them for hundreds of billions of dollars. He said, the American people paid. No, China paid. And the American people didn't pay for it at all. They didn't pay for it. You know, they always find a reason. They're genius in a certain way, but they're evil genius, very bad genius. I'm nice genius, you know, I'm a nice genius. Joe Biden wants to be president for illegal aliens, but I will be the president for law-abiding Americans of every background, every walk of life, every race, religion, color, and creed. And I will tear up Joe Biden's new mass amnesty executive action on my first day back in office. So a couple of weeks ago, he signed this bull. I don't want to use bad language, you know. You know why, right? A man I like, Franklin Graham, son of the great Billy Graham. And I like Franklin so much, and he wrote me a letter, and he said, President, I love your speaking. Your ability to speak is incredible. Your storytelling is great. But it could be so much better if you didn't use foul language. And actually, he's wrong, you know, but I have been working so hard, and it's not that hard. The problem is, if you don't interject every once in a while, I'm only talking about 1 or 2 times during an entire speech. You know, these speeches go on for 2 hours. 1 or 2. Franklin, give me 1 or 2 words. And if you interject, if you don't get the emphasis, but it's okay. So far, I did one today, faith and freedom. And I was really good. I didn't interject. Could have been better if I used a couple of bad words. When I see people start to walk out, then we'll stop, okay? But I like them, so we're trying. So I'm not going to use the word bullshit. It's not. I refuse to use it. And it's not that bad a word. I will also take immediate action to restore prosperity to every part of our land. When I left office, inflation was practically nothing. During my term, we had gasoline down to $1.87 a gallon, and at some points, even less than that. And the 30-year mortgage rate was 2.7%. And then Joe Biden blew it to shreds. Biden's inflation, price hikes, and energy destruction have cost the average American family an astounding $28,000. $28,000. That's a lot of money. And with me, they actually made $16,000. That's a lot of money. You know, inflation is a disaster. It's a country buster. It's a total country buster. And when you look at the prices of eggs and bacon, it's gone up 100%, much more than that in some cases. And if people are making, she said, we can't eat anymore. You can't. Don't ever eat again. Even I won't buy bacon anymore. It's too expensive. I said, I'd love to have some lovely bacon, darling. And she said, no, I'm sorry, it's too expensive. The monthly cost of the typical mortgage has doubled. under crooked Joe Biden, but it's actually gone up much more than that. So with me, it was around 2% interest. Now it's 10%, and you can't get the money. So when you can't get the money, that means it's not 10%, right? You know, that's... On day one of my new administration, we will throw out Bidenomics and replace it immediately with Maganomics. It was just announced. This is a big announcement. It was just announced that the budget deficit is now expected to be $2 trillion. $2 trillion. That's all of his Green New Scam stuff. You know, the Green New Scam. Let's build a windmill on every corner. A windmill that doesn't work. Darling, I'd like to watch television. Making his brutal inflation much worse than anybody ever imagined. I believe it's the worst inflation the country's ever had. To stop Bidenflation, I will end Crooked Joe's wasteful spending and rapidly terminate the Green New Scam. The Green New Scam. You know what the Green New Scam is? No water in your faucets. You ever try buying a new home and you turn on, they have restrictors in there. You want to wash your hair? Well, you want to wash your hands. You turn on the water and it goes drip, drip. The soap, you can't get it off your hand. So you keep it running for about 10 times longer. You're trying. The worst is your hair. I have this beautiful, luxuriant hair. And I put stuff on. And I put it in. Lather. I like lots of lather because I like it to come out extremely dry because it seems to be slightly thicker that way. And I lather up, and then you turn on this crazy shower, and the thing drip, drip. And you say, I'm going to be here for 45 minutes. What the... They put restrictors, and they put them on in places like here where there's so much water you don't know what to do with it. You know, it's called rain. It rains a lot in certain places. But no, their idea, you know, did you see the other day? They just put, I opened it up and they closed it again. I opened it, they closed it. Washing machines to wash your dishes. There's a problem. They don't want you to have any water. They want no water. And I was with Whirlpool, the head of Whirlpool. I helped save that company because they were being attacked by China and South Korea. And I put tariffs on those machines coming.